Hey guys, back with another video. This one's about Motley Crue. Got to dip my finger in. Um, Mick Mars is suing Motley Crue. So I want to check out this video and put my 2 cents in. I've always loved Motley Crue, so let's see what's going on.
Mick Mars, the guitarist of Motley Crue, has made a shocking statement by saying that the band have been using pre-recorded tracks during their live performances, which include some of their vocals. This means that they have not been playing live during parts of their shows. The allegations put the self-proclaimed world's most notorious band in an uncomfortable spotlight and may not go down well with the millions of fans that are paying big bucks to see them on tour.
I love Motley Crue, but I've been saying for years they're using backing tracks, the vocals, pretty much by everybody except for Vince Neil, are they're just lip syncing. If you've heard Vince Neil within the last several years, he isn't faking because Vince Neil is absolutely terrible now, and that's really sad. It makes me sad, but it's a fact. So at the risk of offending people, I'm going to say that, obviously, it doesn't surprise me that a lot of the vocals and a lot of the music is just a backing track. Mick Mars, I don't believe is using a backing track. You can tell when you watch him play, but it's just easy when you think you're rock's demigods to pretty much do whatever you want, and which is the way Motley Crue has always been. I don't know if you guys saw that Netflix documentary movie thing they did, but just a hard partying band, that really, really lived the life. And it doesn't surprise me that they're using this stuff one bit. It just doesn't. What do you say, guys? What do you think? I totally believe it's true. Absolutely.
Tour this year. Mars' revelations came to light after he filed a lawsuit in Los Angeles Superior Court, alleging that Nikki Sixx, Vince Neil, and Tommy Lee had all been fake playing and are using pre-recorded tracks for parts of their performance on the tour. The bad blood that led to this public spat started when Mars, who suffers from ankylosing spondylitis, told the boys and management that he wouldn't be going on the road with them anymore. Although Mars had indicated that the 12 U.S. stadium dates would be his last shows while touring, the 12 anticipated shows ultimately expanded to 36 shows, and Mars performed at every single one of them, in constant pain. Interestingly, Mars does admit he wasn't always on the right power chord during his last few months with the band. Mars at times on the tour did play the wrong chord. He was playing live, and his in-ear monitors were constantly malfunctioning, causing Mars to be unable to hear his own instrument. The allegations pushed the hard rockin' and hard livin' crew closer to the sludge of Milli Vanilli territory, a place no self-respecting outfit wants to be. While not the only band to have been accused of using backing tracks live, these new allegations from Mars, who is still featured all over the band's website and social platforms, go much further. The lawsuit filed by Mars, which does not name any of his bandmates as defendants, aims to provide the guitarist with access to documents related to the band's various holdings, of which he is a 25% owner. Last year, Motley Crue completed a hugely successful live.
So ultimately, the rest of the band is going to fight him in court and not want to give him his 25% that he has earned over the years. That spinal disease he has, it fuses the vertebrae in his back, and it's excruciating. And yet he still goes on, plays 13 dates, plays more. He's done his job. The man is 71 years old. This all started because he said he didn't want to tour anymore. I mean, how can you tour when you're in constant pain like that? I've been saying for, that the last, tour, where they all signed a document they would never tour again, which I knew was meaningless because it's just greed driven, how much money can they make? Um, and I've said, and I don't mean this to offend anybody, but I wouldn't give 5 cents to see this band live. Um, Not even 5 cents, guys. Just horrible, absolutely horrible. What's happened to Motley Crue? Um, and I totally feel like, you know, Tommy and Nikki just, they think they're these big demigods of rock. I mean, and they're legends, but, that doesn't mean they need to be like douches to everybody else. And now they're going to fight Mick Mars for his share. He owns 25% of all this stuff. So, it doesn't sound like they really want to do the right thing. Um, I heard somewhere that they offered him a generous severance package, which I'm sure is, much lower than what the 25% would be. Um, it's kind of like the original founders of McDonald's, how they got really shafted by one man. Um, if you haven't seen that movie, it has Michael Keaton in it, and that will tell you the story of that. He ultimately became this guy that bought up land and said you had to put it here, so that's where the money was. It was in the land, leasing the land to them. So those guys actually, there was two brothers that started this McDonald's thing. They got $1 million each, and I read, had they not taken that, it was just hundreds of millions of dollars that they got shafted out of. And I just, with Vince, Nikki, and Tommy, I mean, now they're just going to be jerks because they're mad because they were exposed. But I think anybody can tell, when the backing tracks are being used. I mean, especially like if you're a musician, you can tell who's really playing. It's really sad that it's come to this. Just absolute legends, and here we sit, listen to this, and as far as I am concerned, Mick Mars has paid his dues to Motley Crue 1,000 times over. Now they want to take away his 25% of everything, so he's filing for the documents to see everything they make. Because I think in the end, I think Motley Crue is going to owe some serious cash to him. Anyway, let's continue.
Live Nation promoted Megatour with fellow aged rockers Def Leppard and support acts Poison and Joan Jett and the Blackhearts. In response to Mars' allegations, the rest of the band said they accepted Mars' decision to retire from the band, which is not what the guitar player actually said. As he reiterates in his petition, Mars indicated that he wouldn't go on the road with the band anymore, but he never said he would retire from the band. The lawsuit and the revelations from Mars have cast a shadow over the future of the band and their relationship with their fans. Motley Crue have responded to guitarist Mick Mars' lawsuit against the group, which claims he is owed money for live performances following his resignation. The band argues that Mars agreed to forfeit any such payments when he resigned and signed a contract to that effect. In addition, the band has alleged that Mars struggled to keep up with his playing and made numerous mistakes during live performances on their last tour. 7 crew members.
And this is coming from one of the members, being Vince Neil, who you can't even understand. I don't know if you guys have seen any of those Vince Neil's lyrics translated, but when you hear him, you can't unhear him. I mean, Vince is absolutely terrible. It Kickstart My Heart, it's every other word, and followed by a wow. It's, I mean, who are they to be criticizing him so hard and trying to penalize him because he made some mistakes when they're using backing tracks, when Vince's vocals are just absolutely horrible. And again, you guys, this is just my opinion. it's just how I feel, you know. And again, I love Motley Crue. I mean, I bought everything they've ever done, seen them many times back in the '80s. Um, Always supported the band, but there comes a time um, that bands need to retire, even no matter how much you love them. So by them basically saying that they don't think he deserves this money because he made some mistakes, yada yada yada, then that means Vince Neil deserves nothing, you know, because what would they pay him based on? His presence? Well, they should obviously pay McMarsh too.
Have provided signed declarations stating that Mars consistently forgot chords in songs, played the wrong notes, and got lost during songs, causing frustration for both the band and crew. The band claims that their monitor engineer even had to ensure Mars' mistakes did not affect the other band members' performances, despite offering Mars a generous compensation package.
Again, you know, Tommy, Vince, and Nikki, I think they're demigods above all. Um, you know, they're really not. You know, I mean, just look at Nikki. He's just a mediocre bass player. He's nothing special. I mean, I never thought Tommy Lee was anything special. Much better drummers out there. Um, Even though I love them, I just think it's just ridiculous. You know, they're going around trying to get their roadies, who of course are going to sign declarations saying this, that, or the other thing, or otherwise they get canned. Um, so, all right, let's finish this up and then we'll talk.
The band claims he refused and instead chose to file an ugly public lawsuit that has damaged the band's reputation. However, it's worth noting that Motley Crue have faced criticism in the past for allegedly again using backing tracks during live performances rather than playing live.
Well, they've been using backing tracks for years. No doubt about that, guys. Um, no doubt. It's not fair to penalize Mick Mars. He's playing the wrong power chords. You know, he's playing this. Well, he said his monitor wasn't working right. So who are they to doubt that? It's all about money, guys. It's all about greed. It's about three members of the band who are mad at one member because he chose to leave because his health isn't great. You know, you don't exclude a member. I mean, you go the way Def Leppard does. You know, when their drummer, when he lost his arm, they stuck with him. You know what I mean? And look at him now. But when you get around, you know, Tommy, Nikki, and Vince, I mean, the egos, it's just like I'm surprised they fit in the stadium because their heads are so big. Again, I love Motley Crue, but I don't have any respect for them. You know, out there, you know, people paying $200-300 and a lot more, and you're going to see some lip syncing and some backing tracks, and you know they won't step up and be real men and say, yeah, man, we've used some backing tracks for our vocals because our vocals aren't what they used to be. They'll never admit it. And again, on that last tour, their farewell tour, absolutely horrid. I've seen a lot of footage of that, and it was just like, time to retire. There's no shame in it, in my opinion. You can't sing the stuff that you used to, you know what I mean, when you were young. I mean, I still love Motley Crue, and I'll separate the music from the men, as, you know, the records, just huge fan. Fans of the actual band members, not so much. I do love Mick Mars. He's in that band. He's the one that I love the most. I just think it's ridiculous. It's just all about greed. You know, they're just angry because he doesn't want to continue. Well, the man's in constant pain. He's gone above and beyond. So we'll keep an eye on this and see what happens. You know, he just basically filed to get the documents showing what they make, because I will guarantee you in the end they will owe him a ton of money, because I'm sure they're shorting him. it wouldn't surprise me. It's no different than other bands who do that. And I'm not going to name any names, but somebody else comes in and they're hired hands. So, they don't get nothing. You look up a net worth of an original artist compared to somebody that's been with the band for 20 years, and it's just like, I'm not going to name any names, but all right, guys, we'll keep an eye on this. I just want to put my 2 cents in. It makes me really sad this has to happen to begin with. Motley Crue is worth a ton of money. Give Mick his share, and you got no issues. You know what I mean? So, all right, so we'll keep an eye on this, guys, and I'll see you in the next video.